Hello, hello everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me for Live at 5. I felt like every time I say we're going live at 5, I feel like I'm a news channel. So, thank you for joining me though, live at 5 for Simply Elizabeth Crafts. I'm super excited to be here tonight so that we can do one more project using the Feathered Fun stamp set. This is one of those reversible stamp sets, and we are going to be using the smooth side tonight to create our last project. We're also going to do both backgrounds for demonstration, so we're gonna technically be making 2 cards, so yay. But here are the cards that we made on Monday for our live, and we will be doing 2 more tonight. So again, I want to also share that if you do a purchase this week that is $50 or more before tax and shipping, you will get make and take packet for these 2 cards plus one of this one. So what will actually happen is you'll get the card base, you'll get 1 card base, but what I will do is I will actually put a piece of the watercolor paper and then just a regular piece of basic white as well, so that you can have that and you can choose which one you do. But everything else in that make and take packet will just be 1 piece, except for those 2 pieces right there. Since I know we all have different opinions on it. Okay, I'm going to see if I can, I think I struggle with this every week. I'm trying to get the comments to come up. Let's see if I can make it happen. There we go. Just takes me a minute. Okay, let's get started because we are going to have to let, well, we'll do these 2 pieces, but we'll have to create the other ones. And I was going to say we need to let them dry, but we can actually use those 2 backgrounds. So let's start with the messiest one first. We're going to start with the watercolor. And if you are here, make sure that you say hello. Make sure that you let me know you're here. Also, I would love if you would share the video. That always helps me out as well. Okay, we're going to grab an old burpee cloth. We'll start with the little fresh side there. We're going to grab our watercolor paper, which I've already cut this one down to the correct size, which is 5 by 3 1/4. We are then going to grab our watercolor. I'm going to make sure I grab the right one. We're going to grab our watercolor pen here, and we are going to, I'm going to grab a large block. Hold on, as I stretch my arm across. Let me take that off. Okay, so we're going to start with, actually, let's start with some Timid Tiger. So I'm going to take my Timid Tiger, and I'm just going to put it right here on my block. I'm going to get a good coverage of it. I'm going to take and add some water to my already paper here, and I'm going to actually do that with one of my sprayers. Or maybe not, because I don't know where it's at. It's gone missing, which seems to be a recurring problem of mine over here. Okay, so we're just going to take our pen, and we're just going to get a bunch of water on our background paper here. I can always go get some more water if I need it. And then we're just going to kind of spread it out like this. I just want to go ahead and give it that water base for us. Okay, now what I'm going to do is my Timid Tiger is going to be on the bottom, and it's not a lot on the bottom, so I'm just going to lay it down, give it some, and the reason I'm doing it that way is it gives it a little bit more juice on it. As far as the color, it makes it a little bit more vibrant. I'm going to pick it up and kind of do that as well. Give it some more color on there. Okay, now I'm going to lay that down over here, and this is why I get so messy when I watercolor. And then I'm just going to kind of blend that over like that. Okay, all right, then I'm going to get that off. Get it clean. Okay, we're gonna get our block clean as well. All right, next color we're gonna do is Strawberry Slush. And again, we're gonna put it on the end of our block here. And then we're gonna add it to our page here. Okay, and it looks like we're gonna need a little bit more, so I'm gonna wipe that off. We're gonna add some more. We're gonna lay it down again. Okay, then we're gonna take our brush and we're just gonna add a little bit more water to it, and we're gonna fill it in, make it even looking across. And if you need a little bit more ink, you can always pick it up right off the block and add it in. Just like that. And we're gonna kind of swoop it up some, blend those in. And I pick something up, there we go. There we go. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more right here. All right, I think that is dark enough. All right, so then I'm gonna clean my block again. Let's get some dry area over here. Okay, then I'm gonna clean my brush. And all I do when I clean the brush is I just squeeze it so that it'll get the water flowing through it. And then you're just gonna wipe it until it's clean, until it no longer does that color. Your pinks are a little bit harder, just FYI, but there we go. All right, then last but not least, we are gonna do Secret C. And I'm gonna add some more water on here, because I feel like it's kind of gotten dry. Okay, so now we're gonna take our Secret C, add it to our block. We're gonna lay it down. I'm gonna go up a little higher. And you don't want to put, when it's wet, your block is wet, you don't want to put that back on your ink pad, just as an FYI. All right, I'm going to pick that up really quick. We're just going to kind of fill in some of that. All right, now I'm going to take my watercolor pencil again, or my watercolor brush again. I'm going to get a little bit more water out. And I'm going to spread this up and let it kind of blend with our strawberry slush. Let's add a little bit more water. There we go. Get it moving a little bit. All right. Now that we've done that, we are going to let it dry for just a second. Let's see, I need to get this clean though first. So let's squeeze it. Okay. I'm gonna grab my tweezers and we're going to heat it up. We're gonna just let it get dry. And it may take it just a few minutes to do it. but you'll get it there. Now, if you do let it dry on its own, it will get a little bit darker, but of course, we got to do the next step, so we can't let it dry naturally. All right, I'm gonna flip it over to let it dry from the back. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Let's see if I can get this turned off. There we go. Angie, yes, I am using watercolor paper. Yes, I am. On this one, I am. On the one that we do with the blend, I will just use regular paper. Okay, so next we're gonna do is, now that that's dry, we're gonna take a little bit of water from our brush, and we're gonna actually see if I can put kind of like a glob on here. There we go. And then I'm just gonna drop some down on our paper, and then I'm gonna make some big ones. Just want a few big ones. See if I can get it to give us some little ones too. Okay, then once I do that, I'm gonna take a dry side and I'm just gonna lay it down. And then you're gonna see that it's gonna start kind of, when it dries, it's gonna start making these watermarks is what I like to call it. And you'll see that's got some little ones on there too. So, and then that will create a background that looks like this, depending on how your water splatters. Now, I will say this, every background will be different. Every single one will be different, okay? All right, so there is that one. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Wink of Stella. I'm gonna clean off my block again. And I'm going to drop, maybe, I think I'm almost out of my Wink of Stella. We're gonna see if I can get enough out. Maybe, come on. Come on. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to take and splatter some of the Wink of Stella on here. I'm going to pick up a little bit here so I can get some big blobs on it too. And this is just going to give it like a shimmery background, which it's not giving me big blobs today. All right, let's see if I can make a big blob. Of course, I'm gonna do this and then it's gonna look bad, but that's all right. We're just gonna make it work, right? Let's add another one down here. And I think that'll work. Okay. All right, now on this one, I'm just gonna kind of push it in so it's not so bubbly. There we go. All right. We're just gonna manifest some. How about that? Okay. All right, so then that is gonna be this background here, okay? I'm gonna let that dry for just a second, and then we're gonna start with our next one. Let's do our next background. So this one is going to be all about the blending. So we're gonna grab our paper and then we're gonna start blending. So we're gonna start with our Timid Tiger. And we're gonna get a good coverage. And this is bigger than what we need. And this one is too. We'll actually have to cut that one down as well. But this is bigger because I'm going to show you when you start putting it down onto your cardstock, you see it's creating this like really dark on the edge. I don't like that. And so we're going to get rid of it by cutting it down. And then we're just going to ink up until we get it how we want it. And this might take a few minutes because I really want it to be dark and vibrant. And let's see, I think this maybe just a little bit darker. Let's see if we can get a little bit darker. There we go. I like it dark for our backgrounds like this. Well, we're going to need it dark for our background. And Angie, you have seen this card. This is a card, the card that we're creating is from Onstage. So I absolutely, this is probably the reason I bought the stamp set, because I really liked the card that they created. So we're going to do summer or strawberry slush now. I about called it Summer Splash, which is not even a pink. That's a green. All right, and then we're gonna get this good and covered. We're gonna do it like this. And I have to do some refilling of my ink pad. There we go. See if we can get that to blend in just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take the Timid Tiger again, and we're going to go over just to help with the blending in that area where those two colors come together. Okay, next color is going to be Secret Sea. All right, and this almost looks black when you really start blending it in the photo that I have of the card from Onstage. All right, and then we're just going to keep blending until we get it how we want it. When I blend really hard like this, my arm will start hurting because it can be a lot for sure, especially when you're trying to get a really good coverage. All right. All right, and then we'll keep going. And also know that when you do watercoloring or even blending like this, you're going to get it everywhere on you. And that's okay. That's all a part of crafting. All a part of it. All right. We're going to see if we can get it. I want just a little bit more, oops, here. Okay. All right. I think that is going to be good enough. We're going to go with that. Okay. So now, while we actually have, oh, you know what? We got to do our spots, don't we? All right. So let's take our, that's that one. Let's take this and we're going to drop large ones on because that seemed to do a little bit better. And then we're gonna splatter. All right, so now that we got that, we're then gonna lay our thing on top, get that excess water right off of it. Okay, then we're gonna take our Wink of Stella, we're gonna add to it as well. Let's see, come on. Don't die on me quite yet. There we go. It's getting there. Okay, and then we're just gonna add some in here. Give it some extra color. Well, not color, shimmer. Got to give it lots of extra shimmer. Okay. Now, before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and dry these so that we can start stamping on them. Let's see if it'll dry it. Okay, that's not really working for me, so let's see. We might have to do something a little different. Let's do this. Let's find another clean area, and let's just lay it down. We'll just tap it. There we go. All right. That'll get up the excess so that we can now stamp. All right, we're going to trim our paper down. And so let me grab my cutter, which is just right behind me. We're going to move this out of the way as well. All right, so we want our paper to be 3 1/4 by 5. And let's see if I trim off. Yeah, we're gonna trim from this way. All right, by 5, right there. Okay, so that's our watercolor one. This one, we're gonna trim off a little bit off the edge on this side. Then we're gonna come to this side and cut to 3 1/4. Because again, I just want those harsh edges to come off because I don't particularly care for those. And then we're going to, there we go. We're going to take here and we're going to cut a little bit off of it like that. And then we're going to flip it around and we're going to do it at 5. Let me, all right. So now we have our 2 pieces. Okay. Let's put all of this in the trash so it is out of the way. We're going to bring in my Stamparatus because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I get our birds in the right spot and our limbs. So we're going to do one limb this way. And actually, you know what? We're going to do the limbs last. That's what we're going to do. All right, so let's do our birds first. And we're going to grab our magnet off the back, if I can get it. There we go. Because what I want to do is make sure that that part stays down. And then let's grab our other one. Okay. Because with your paper, when you do, especially when you're doing any kind of water on it, it's going to warp it a little bit. So you want to make sure that this is steady for stamping. All right, we're going to stick this here. And this one's going to go here. Like they're almost kissing. And then... And we're doing the Stamparatus because I want to make sure that I get a very good coverage of them when they're stamped down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my cleaner, because I've had them off of the, or out of the case, and so I just want to make sure I don't have any lint and stuff on it. All right, then we're going to take our Secret C and we're going to ink up. And then we're going to stamp down. Okay, then we're going to do it again. And we're going to keep doing that until we get a really good image. If you want, you could even use black. If you wanted to do that, you could do black stays on the watercolor. But I really wanted it to be the Secret C color. And it's going to be a struggle there in that center, isn't it? All right, let me see if I can get a good pressure down on it. Sometimes your solid stamps are a little harder, which is another reason why you want to be able to just flip back and forth using a Stamparatus or whatever tool is out there, stamping tool. All right, we're just going to keep going until we get it all. And I have one of those Chuckies, I think is what it's called, but I don't know where it's at the moment. There are still some things I have not found from the move. That being one of them. And probably as soon as I get off here, I'll probably find it in a box or on a shelf. That's usually how it works for me. All right, let's see, that's getting a little closer. I really just need it in the center. I don't know why it's not doing it. All right, we're gonna just stick with that because I don't know, it should be dry enough. And it's doing the tails pretty good. All right, I'm gonna pull it close to me real quick and see if I can press down on it really good. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with that. Now, we're gonna take this off. I'm gonna put that down there. We're gonna stamp the tree limbs, but I think what I'm gonna need to actually do is we're gonna need to figure out how it's gonna be easiest. So I'm gonna need to extend it a little bit. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna stamp the whole thing right here, like that. We're gonna ink it up again. With this being a photopolymer, I should be able to line it up just right. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna clean it. Yep. And then we're going to extend our branch with just this side. Like that. And let's do it again. All right. Now we're gonna flip it and do the other side. So we're gonna stick this one right here. I think that will be good. All right. Ink it up. Well, that's not very branchy. Oh, I must have it on the dark side or the larger side. Okay. We'll fix that on the other card. All right, then we're gonna take the back. We're gonna add our tree trunk there. Okay. All right, so there is our birds. Now, we're gonna do one more thing to it because you've already made kind of the background shimmery. So I have a watercolor pen that I actually have used with Wink Stella, and we're gonna take that and we're gonna color our bird with that Wink Stella, and we're gonna do the branch, and that's gonna make it shimmery. Now the other thing you could do is you could emboss it with clear on top to give it some shimmer as well, but I felt like the Wink Stella would do just a little better. And color it all in. Okay, and then we're gonna do this one. And the other thing is if you have like shimmer embossing powder, that would work really well as well. But now it's all shimmery, which is fantastic. All right, and then we're gonna do this one. This is also gonna help color in and make that a little darker where it wouldn't stamp for me. All right, so we're just gonna color it in, color it in, color it in. And ta-da. All right, and then let's get our branch like that. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we are gonna take this, we're gonna stamp a sentiment. It's gonna be stamped in Secret C. Oh, y'all, my comments were not even showing. Look at there. Yes, it does, Angie, remind me of Midnight Muse as well. Yes. Do you like the blending? Okay. I do. I will say I think I like the blending as well because I think it makes it just a little bit more bam, if you know what I mean. All right, so we're gonna stamp our sentiment there. I miss you already. We're gonna set that over there. Grab our card base, fold it in half. We're gonna flip this over. We're gonna pop it up. Yep. And then we're gonna do this. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got to cut because, of course, I would run out, wouldn't I? All right, so then there we go. Now we're gonna take our watercolor piece here and we're gonna put it on our background. And Angie, do you remember if they did the watercoloring or if they did blending when you were on stage? I feel like it looks, the picture I have, I feel like it looks like watercolor, but I haven't been able to get it as vibrant as they did. So it made me wonder if it was the blending brushes, I guess. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some Secret C ribbon and we are going to take our sentiment here. We're gonna trim off the ends just like that. Then we're gonna take our ribbon, we're gonna fold it in half. Yep, that should be good. We're gonna trim it. we're gonna put some adhesive right here for our ribbon. We're gonna crisscross it maybe a little bit like that. And let's put some more adhesive here, like that. There we go. Then we're gonna take our sentiment and we're gonna pop it up. We're gonna stick that there. We're gonna put it right here over. All right, and then there is our watercolor piece right there. Okay, all right, so let's do our blending. Okay, that sounds good. Let's do our blending piece because I don't think that one's gonna make it as difficult to do. All right, so we're gonna stick magnet there, magnet there. Be careful with those magnets. Let's ink it up. And we're gonna stamp down. Oh yeah, see, it's darker for sure with the blending. Although we've got a shimmer right in the center, but that'll be all right. Okay, we'll stamp it down. We can cover that up when we use the Wing Castella. Okay, yep, see, I definitely like the birds stamped better with our blending background there. Okay. That is much, much darker. All right, so now we're gonna set this aside because we don't need that anymore. Let's see where I can put it without making a mess. All right, so then we're gonna take our stick here and I'm gonna get the not so thick side and we're gonna stamp. Okay. All right. Let me clean it real quick. All right, we're gonna ink it up and then we're gonna stamp it. We're gonna ink it up. We're gonna stamp it one more time. Okay, and then we're gonna ink it up. We're gonna flip it this time and do it that way. And then stamp it and ta-da! That's much darker and I think it makes the birds look much more vibrant. Okay, so let's do our other one, our other side. And let's make sure we've got it on the right branch side. Let's flip it over. All right. Now we're gonna do this one like this. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Let's do it like this. There we go. We'll stamp it down, ink it up one more time, and then we're gonna extend it just a little bit like that. Okay, all right. Now we're gonna stamp our sentiment one more time. That one definitely doesn't take nearly as long, which I like, that is for sure. Okay, and then we're gonna take our sentiment, trim off those ends, just like that, just like that. We are gonna take our ribbon, trim it like that, add some adhesive right down here, adhere. Let's see if we can make it spread some. Like that. We're going to add a little bit more adhesive there so that it'll do what we want it to do. Okay, we'll flip that over. We're going to grab a dimensional. I'm going to cut another little piece. We are going to stick onto our little piece here like that. Okay, flip it over. Let's cut a bunch of these. And then let's stick them on. And a couple more. Let's get that one. Let's do this one here. Give that a good, okay. We'll take the paper off the back of that. It somehow got on the wrong side. There we go. We'll take all the backs off. And we'll take our card base and then we're gonna stick this on just like this. There we go. And there is card number 2. Okay, so there are our 2. Oh, yes, it was a demonstration, Angie. It was, for sure, yeah. Yeah, it was just a demonstration, which is why I think it's hard for me to figure out how they, you know, actually did it. So, because I only had pictures of it. So, but I'm going to say, oh, you know what we forgot? Sorry. No, I forgot. Not y'all. Me. We're going to use the Wink of Stella to give it some shimmer. I knew it was missing something. I'm just going to do it real quick. There we go. Let's see. There we go. There we go. All right, and then we're going to do this side. I will also say that, you know, it is definitely quicker to do the blending one. The watercolor one takes a little longer because of the stamping. But I think I like the blending one better. I can say that's probably my favorite. All right, that was just a quick, there we go. Okay, now it's all glimmery and shimmery, and I'll do a little bit more after to make it better. But, uh-oh. Oh no. What happened? It totally switched my video. That was crazy. Y'all got to see my ceiling. Let's see if it fixes it. Am I still live? I think oh, there we go. My goodness. I tried to zoom in and I think I hit the wrong button. So sorry about that. But okay, so I did the shimmer on the blending one, but again, I think I like the blending one better. I think because it gives that background a little bit more, less, you know, it gives that splatter look a little bit more too. So, but I like how the shimmer looks on the water paper better. So I don't know, toss up, I guess. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next time. I will be live on Monday at 7 o'clock over on YouTube, so make sure that you join me there. And we will actually be doing the new paper pumpkin, so that will be our project then. All right, everyone, have a good one. Bye.